I'm so excited for another mural. It's been way too long. So, I am painting another mural very soon. I couldn't be more excited, honestly. And so I thought it would be a great time to share some of my mural tips. So, painting on a big wall can be intimidating for sure. And I have like a few things that I have gathered over the course of my 5 murals. I have the first office that was ripped away from me unexpectedly. And then technically there was like 2 there. There was like the front desert landscapey one. So that was like 1.5. And then my dining room mural, which included the innovation of using the projector. And then my upstairs in my house guest room mural. And then Mill and Meadow, biggest mural. I think my favorite mural. She's gorgeous. Also, my desk mat is Mill and Meadow mural print. And then the paint store mural was the last one I did, and that was in 2023. And I did not do any murals at the old office, which I intended to do, but failed to actually just do it. And so this time I am just doing it this weekend, hopefully, in the new warehouse office behind the TV. So I already drew the design like when we were moving. So that's 9 months ago, 10 months ago-ish at this point. So it's been ready to go for a while. I've never promised to be like quick about these. Can't offer you suggestions on that one. But one of the biggest tips that I would encourage is, if you can, using a projector. So what I mean when I say use a projector, you have your digital design done, and then I have like little projector that also I think is meant to like show movies, so it has a speaker in it, which is fun too. But you can basically like Bluetooth it to, in this case I use my iPad, and I actually go through AirPlay where it's like a screen share, and so I just pull up a photo in my Photos app on my iPad of the design, and the projector will then project the design on the wall, and all you need to do is trace it, which is super helpful. It's also great for scale, so you can decide what kind of scale you want, and you get a preview of what the design is actually going to look like once it's done, because you're seeing it projected with light onto the wall. So if you realize like, oh, actually I want it to be bigger scale or smaller scale, you can move the projector back or forward. Or if you want a different piece of the like design to hit different parts of your wall, since you're going to have light switches there, or in this case, we're painting a wall that has a TV on it. So I'll just put my least favorite part of the design where the TV is. So the best part about the projector is that it really takes a lot of thought out of the whole thing, because it'll just keep that image on the wall, and all you have to do is go over it. It'll also kind of show you where the colors are supposed to go, obviously, because you're just recreating the design you already drew. So you already know everything looks good, and then you don't have to think like, oh, this next flower that I draw, this would be very specific to my style, but oh, this next flower that I draw, what color should it be? What type of flower should it be? And that's what I was thinking about the entire time I was painting my very first mural, before I had known this trick, and that was exhausting and made it a lot slower. Something to keep in mind about the projector though is if you move it once, then the design is not going to be lined up the same again. So keeping it in the exact same spot can be really, really helpful, or just kind of accepting that you may need to sort of realign it again. And then also like the angle of the projector is obviously going to distort the image. So if you have it straight on the wall, if it like gets rotated, it's now going to get stretched out on like the far side away from the projector. So if you like put it down once and then move it, but it's angled, then it could distort the image of your mural. So that's something to keep in mind about the projector, is like making sure it lines up and then making sure the angle stays consistent.
So would you recommend like set the projector up and then trace it all onto the wall in one go, and then you don't have to use a projector anymore?
That would be really smart. I would say like putting the projector onto the wall and then like kind of doing a rough sort of sketch of it as much as possible in like one go, and then going back and sort of making the lines more solid or doing whatever details you need to do. I would say that would be super smart. And another pro of the projector is that I'm going to have one of my old interns, Caitlin, who is a great artist in and of herself. I'm gonna have her help me with actually like doing the mural because I have the projector already projecting the design I want on the wall. So really it makes it a lot simpler. And if you have someone who may not share your artistic vision, but at least has like the brush skills to go over and help with that, that will speed it up a lot and you'll be able to accept some help, because all my murals to this point I have done basically completely on my own. I did have a little bit of help from Ian with the paint store mural, which was great because he was able to like fill in the solid colors, and that was super helpful. So even if you don't have a projector, you can have somebody help with like filling in solid chunks of color. It can be hard if you're gonna do the mural in broad daylight because the projector uses light, so it'll be quite a dull sort of outline if you use a projector. But at least planning ahead of time digitally can be really helpful. I am kind of a digital artist, I would say foremost at this point. So doing the design on my iPad, picking the colors, getting sure about that is helpful. I can print out my design and I can have the paint store actually color match it. So that's really helpful because then I know that my colors are actually going to look right on the wall versus like if I just kind of went in blind and was like, I like this color, I like that color, it'll probably look fine together. Obviously, when you get halfway through a mural, that is not the point to realize that you don't like the colors you choose. So what I would do is like make the design digitally. I would then grab the design in Procreate or whatever you're using, and then like maybe make like a big swatch on a piece of paper with all of the different colors printed out. They have a little scanner thing, so they can scan a pretty small area, but maybe like a 3-inch diameter, either circle or square, and then make sure it's not a glossy piece of paper because the scanner uses light. So if it's like a shiny piece of paper, it could pick up the wrong color. So a matte printout of the design or the colors would be great, and what I would suggest to bring to the paint store. So then that brings me to what kind of paint to use. I would definitely suggest using paint samples. I don't have a brand preference really. Obviously I go for like low VOC paint. I usually don't prime the walls that I paint, but I am working on a white wall this time and I'm probably going to paint a white base layer because I know from working on canvases that are white, this is like a mistake I made super early on. I just wouldn't paint the background and be like, it's already white. And then you'd go in with white paint and the white wouldn't match the white of the background of the canvas. So with a white wall, unless I think we actually might still have the white that they use to paint the wall. But if you don't have that, just paint the wall white with like a can of paint that you can then have leftovers of in case you need to fix something later. You want to be able to have that background color available, which you would if you're not using a white background, but just something to think about. So yeah, I would use wall paint, obviously, but I don't really put like a sealant or anything over it. I'm not like familiar with if there is like wall sealants, but if somebody knows, you can let me know in the comments. I will say like the Mill and Meadow mural has gotten like some scuffs and stuff because it's in the store and like it's right behind the counter. So like stuff has scuffed it, but it mostly comes off with like a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. So just how you would kind of clean stuff like scuffs off a normal wall.
And that doesn't take the paint off at all?
No,
Awesome.
Not in my experience. So the very, very first mural I did in the old office, I got a quart for the background color, and that was not enough. It was like a 12 by 8 wall, maybe 14 by 8, I don't know. So a quart was not enough. A gallon for the background, I would say, will probably get you where you need to be for most murals, unless it's like a full room. But then obviously for like the accent colors, I feel like you can really just do samples, which are like the small, I think they're pints maybe of paint. And that's really nice because they have a screw top versus like the paint cans you have to bust open. So they keep a lot better. I will say I did save a lot of mural paint for like over a year, even in like the screw top samples, and it doesn't save that well. I know there's ways you can like add paint thinner and mix it up and stuff, but the samples are like kind of so cheap that I usually just toss them, especially if there's only like a little bit left. But also you can use wall paint on canvas. So if you want to repurpose your paint and you have some left in your samples, I would say don't throw it away for that reason. You can always make other art with it. And that can be really fun, especially if you wanted to make like a complementary piece for the same room, put it on a different wall, same colors. I feel like that would be really fun and cute. So there's an idea. So So how long it takes to finish a mural is really going to depend on the size of the wall. The Mill and Meadow mural, which was a big wall, I feel like it was 12 feet tall and I don't know, 16 feet wide. That one took me about 75 hours. It was pretty like detailed in a lot of colors and all that. I think that the mural I'm about to do is similar levels of detail and colors, but because there's cabinets halfway up the wall and then there's also a TV, the actual square footage that we're painting isn't going to be too bad and the ceilings are lower in here. So I am being incredibly optimistic that we can get it done in one day. Probably not, but maybe one weekend. Also, probably not. Murals always take longer than you expect. The Mill and Meadow one took me like 4 weeks to finish in all. I took a lot of breaks there where I like really just could not summon the energy or motivation to finish it. I feel really good about starting a mural, and then once I hit like 50% to like 90%, I'm like, there's no way I'm working on this. I feel like I'm barely making any progress. I'm not very close to being done. But if you can just get yourself to that 90% mark, you're like, oh, the end is in sight. Let's do this. So kind of giving yourself a lot of time. Don't be hard on yourself if you don't finish it as soon as you would like, because been there, done that. It's a hard thing to do. It's a big surface area. Like, it's not an easy task. So just be nice to yourself about it. I would also say like probably trying to ventilate as much as possible, because if you are going to be like in there sniffing wet paint for several hours, like that's not going to make you feel the best. And then also making sure that you eat enough and hydrate enough, because I have definitely gotten locked in on a mural, especially at Mill and Meadow when there wasn't any food. Like, it wasn't in my house where I could go down to the kitchen or something. There wasn't any food in the vicinity. So like I spent like 6 hours painting when I went there to do 2 hours of painting or something, because I got locked in, and then I forgot to eat and drink, and I walked out of there having like smelled paint for a couple hours, which is generally fine, but when combined with dehydration and hunger, I just felt like I had, I don't know, been on like a bender or something. So just make sure that you're like taking care of yourself, because it is kind of a whole experience, and it is very easy to like get very focused and then actually not like get enough food or water or something like that. So definitely, like a side note, just make sure you're doing okay while you try to take on this multi-hour, multi-day task.
And remember that it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it always is fun for me. It can get a little stressful, but it's fun. I think everybody should paint a mural if you like painting. If you don't like painting, maybe don't. So yeah, those are my main mural tips, and please stick around for like the full sort of vlog and full length painting of this mural. I'm super, super excited about it, and I think it's going to turn out really good, and I think it's going to be super fun, and I'm excited to take you all along for the ride. Don't forget to comment any suggestions you have, any mural tips you have of your own, or let me know if you have questions, and then also like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching till the end. I'm so excited. It's mural day. This wall's getting painted. I need to clean up this room and set up like the drop cloth and all of the tape. My former interns, current social media gal, and then Caitlin, who works in politics now, are coming, and Caitlin's gonna help paint, and Olivia is going to film it, and it's gonna be really fun. And I've never done a whole mural with help. I did do one mural with Ian's help a couple years ago, which made it so much better, but I feel like having people here with me the entire time is gonna be so nice. I can't wait.
Don't you love going in public and filming yourself?
I love it so much. This makes me want to die. I love this. It's literally so fun to look at. Oh, no.
Yeah,
Now I'm
that might be our girl.
Farm Fresh.
It's pretty good.
Diva Glam.
Diva Clam?
Diva Glam.
Wait, that's beautiful.
It's so bold.
I fear that might be my pick. I like that
That's
one.
really pretty though. I'm about to spend $100 on paint.
Worth
That's
it.
more than worth it, actually.